Welcome to How I Unfucked My Life. I'm your host, Christine DeGrazia, registered nurse and founder of Calm by Intention. On this show, we bridge the gap between mindset and physiology. We're combining the raw grit it takes to change your life with the clinical science it takes to regulate your nervous system, because it takes more than just mindset to calm a body in survival mode. Let's get into today's episode. Hi everyone, welcome back to How I Unfucked My Life. I'm your host Christine, and today we're talking about one of the hardest things I think anyone can have to do in life, and it's called forgiveness. And before you check out on me, I know. You've heard it before, forgive and forget, let it go, move on, and you're sitting there thinking you have no idea what they did to me. You have no idea what I've been through. And you're right, I don't. But what I do know is the person who hurt you, they're out there living life to the fullest. Or maybe they're not even here anymore. But either way, you are here carrying it every single day. And trust me when I say they're not. And that is what we are talking about today. So let me start by what forgiveness is not, because I think this is where most people get stuck. See, forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It's not excusing it. It's not forgetting it. It's not pretending that it didn't happen. It's not letting them back in your life. It's not giving them another chance. It's not a conversation you even have to have with them. And it's not something that they have to know about. And it is absolutely not weakness. Because I think a lot of us hold on to anger and resentment because letting go feels like we're losing. Like they win. They got away with it. Like we're saying, fine, it's okay, you're off the hook. But that is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness has nothing to do with them at all. They don't deserve a phone call. They don't deserve a letter. They don't even need to be alive for this to happen. Forgiveness is something you do entirely 100% for yourself. It is you deciding that what they did no longer gets to live rent-free in your head, your heart, and your body. It's you taking your power back. That's it. That's all it is. So here's what I want you to think about. When you hold on to unforgiveness, when you hold on to resentment and anger and bitterness, who is actually suffering? It's not them, it's you. You are the only one lying awake at 3 a.m. replaying it. You're the one whose stomach tightens when something reminds you of them. Or you're the one who flinches at a song, a smell, a place, a memory. You're the one whose past is bleeding into your present and poisoning things that have absolutely nothing to do with what happened. They've moved on, trust me. Or they're gone. And meanwhile, you're still in that moment, still in that house, still at that kitchen table, still in that conversation that happened 10 years ago. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And you have been poisoning yourself for long enough. And I want to be clear about something. This is not about any one kind of hurt. This is about anyone who has ever left a mark on you that you're still carrying. Maybe it's a parent, someone who was supposed to protect you and didn't. That was mine. Well, that was one of mine. Maybe it's someone who was supposed to love you and showed you something else entirely. Someone whose voice is still in your head telling you that you're not enough, even though they have been gone for years, even though they are no longer alive. Because here's the thing about that. Death does not automatically bring forgiveness or make it better. You can be standing at someone's grave still carrying that anger towards them. And that's okay. That's human. And that still needs to be released. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed you, a coworker who wronged you, a boss who treated you like you were disposable, a family member who let you down in ways that still sting. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It doesn't have to be one specific kind of person. Hurt is hurt, and we carry it regardless of where it came from. And maybe, and this is the one I really want you to sit with, maybe it's yourself. Because some of us are carrying more guilt and shame about our own choices than anything anyone else ever did to us. The mistake we made, the decision we regret, the person we were before we knew better. You need to forgive yourself too, maybe most of all. I've had people in my life that I have needed to forgive. My mother was one of them, a couple others, people who hurt me in ways I did not deserve. And some of them are no longer here. which in some ways makes it harder because there was no conversation to be had, no apology coming, no closure, just me and the weight of it. And I carried it for a long time, longer than I should have, because letting go felt like saying it was okay. And it was not okay. What happened was not okay. But here's what I finally understood. I was not forgiving them for their sake. I was forgiving them for mine. I was choosing to stop letting something that already happened continue to happen to me every single day because I couldn't let it go. And when I finally did, when I genuinely released it, I got a piece of myself back. I got lighter, I got freer, I stopped spending energy on something I couldn't change and started putting it towards the life I actually wanted to live. And I have to say, I hear people say all the time, I will never forgive them for what they did. Never. And I understand that. I have felt that. There are things that have been done to me that felt completely unforgivable. But here's what I want you to really think about when you say that. When you say, I will never forgive them, what you're actually saying is, I will carry this forever. I will let this live in me forever. I will give this person permanent residence in my heart and in my head for the rest of my life. And while you're busy not forgiving them, I hate to break it to you, but they're not thinking about you one bit. They're not losing sleep. They're not suffering. You are. So who's actually being punished here? Choosing not to forgive is not strength. It is a life sentence, and you are the only one serving it. And I'm going to give it to you straight, because this is the part that changed everything for me. You want to know how they win? They win every single day that you stay stuck. Every day you spend replaying what they did, every day you spend bitter and angry and unable to move forward. Every day you let what happened to you in the past decide what your present looks like. That's how they win. Not by you releasing it, not by you healing, not by you moving on and building something beautiful. They win when you stay stuck in it. They win when you don't live your life. They win when the weight of what they did keeps you from becoming everything you're capable of being. So you want to do something about it? You want to make it mean something? Go live a fabulous life. That's the answer. That's the only answer. Not anger, not bitterness, not staying in it. A fabulous life. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, will bother the person who hurt you more than watching you thrive without them, without their weight, without their damage, without their judgment, without their narrative about who you are. Heal, grow, build, laugh, love your life out loud. That's not letting them off the hook. That's taking everything that they tried to take from you and turning it into fuel. That, my friend, is how you win. And here's something else I need you to hear. Some people are never going to apologize. Some people don't think they did anything wrong. Some people are gone and took the apology with them. And if you're waiting for that apology to give yourself permission to heal, you're handing your piece over to someone who either can't or won't give it back. And you don't need that apology. You don't need their acknowledgement. You do not need them to understand what they did, to admit it, to feel bad about it, or even know that you've forgiven them. I actually had one person do something to me and said, I knew it was going to hurt you. I just didn't think it was going to be this much. Well, wow. Do you think that they would ever apologize for that? Do you think that they knew they were hurting me and did it anyway? Gotta let that shit go. And you need to decide for yourself, by yourself, that it no longer gets to define you. That decision belongs to you and only you, and nobody can take that from you. So I want to come back to this topic because I think it deserves its own space. If you're carrying shame about who you were, what you did, choices you made when you were just trying to survive, then you really need to hear this. You did the best that you could with what you had at the time. And when you knew better, you did better. That's all any of us can do. The mistakes you made do not define you. The worst thing you ever did is not who you are. You are allowed to grow past it. You are allowed to stop dragging it behind you like an anchor. You deserve the same grace that you would give to anyone else you love. Just give it to yourself. So here's what I want you to sit with this week. Who are you still carrying? Who is living rent-free in your head and your heart that you need to evict? And what has holding onto it actually cost you? Because every day you stay stuck is a day they win. And they have already taken enough from you. They do not get your today. They do not get your tomorrow. They do not get one more minute of the life you are still out here building. This is not for them. This is for you. Forgiveness doesn't excuse them. It releases you. And you have been in that prison long enough. So go live your fabulous life. Thanks for listening to How I Unfucked My Life. If this one hit home, share it with someone you think needs it. Give me a like, a subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to How I Unfucked My Life. I know the work is heavy, but remember, you aren't just fighting your brain, you're learning to lead your body. You have the grit to change your mindset, and you have the biology to find your peace. And every choice you make is a step towards the life that you deserve. So stop arguing with where you've been and start deciding where you're going. See you next time.